Are you one of those people that in your communication, you ask a question to somebody and they kind of tilt their head and they repeat the question because they quite didn't get it? Is that you? Or maybe you're in the business of answering phone calls for potential clients or responding to emails, and you're not connecting with people by email or the telephone or even in person. Well, if that's you, stay tuned. I'm going to help you understand why you might not be connecting with people and what you ought to know about the 4 NLP communication styles. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Losier. Some of you may remember me from the first video that I did for this series, or you might have been in Vancouver. I'm the author of these 3 best-selling books. The middle book, Law of Connection, is based on the 4 NLP learning styles. Not only is it their learning style, it's their decision-making styles. What is causing your client or potential client to decide to purchase from you or not to purchase from you? So today we're going to be using the worksheets that come with this program. Ideally, you will have completed the online assessment, and the address is right here. It's hangoutwithmichael.com/NLP assessment. And in that assessment, you'll learn the order of the 4 styles. You see, we have all 4 styles, but one of them is more dominant than the rest. So imagine if this is a math question, I would say, what is the percentage that you and your spouse are the same style? It's only 25% chance. That means it's a 75% chance that you're not matching your spouse. How about that client that just sent you an inquiry email, or that prospect that called you on the phone? There's a 75% chance that you're not matching your style. Now, this is where conflict happens. In the conversation, you're using words from your dominant style, but that might be their weakest style. But today I'm going to fix all that. Today I'm going to teach you what you need to be doing so you could understand their style through their email, through their telephone call, how they end an email, or what they say when you're talking to them. Very good. Now, in this book, in my book, Law of Connection, I'm talking about the reasons why we connect with people. Number 1, staying in rapport with people. In other words, not ticking them off. You know the rule. Once you tick somebody off, or once you break rapport with them, it's kind of hard to build it. Matter of fact, it only takes a couple minutes or a couple seconds to build rapport with somebody. It only takes a second to damage it, and it could take forever to repair it. So my job is to teach you how to stay in rapport with people so you don't tick them off, you don't turn them off. And that's usually because of the communication style. The second reason why we stay in rapport with people is we need to learn how to calibrate them. And calibrate means to check out their mood. If you're meeting with a client and they're in a low energy, then you would not have low energy, but you wouldn't be over exuberant. You would break rapport with them. You know, I always tell the story about a good server in a restaurant. A good server will know how to calibrate. They'll know if you're in the restaurant, you're having a serious conversation, a good server will know not to come over and be too jolly and too excited. They'll match the vibration. But a good server will laugh and joke with you if that's the mood or the state of you and your partner or you and your client having dinner. So learning how to calibrate is important. Learning how to stay in rapport, but most importantly, understanding the 4 learning styles. So by this point, I'm going to make an assumption you did the online assessment, and now you know your strongest style and your weakest style. Just a reminder, we use all 4 styles. One of them is our favorite, and one of them we hardly use. So imagine meeting a potential customer or client and not speaking the words from their style. This is instant rapport breaker. So on the worksheets, yours is going to look like this as well. We're going to fill in the blanks. So the 4 styles, some of you might be used to the 3 styles, the visual learner, the auditory learner, the kinesthetic learner. But on this, the NLP style, it's called the digital learner. And the digital learner means the thinker, almost like a digital clock, how it goes 10:01, 10:02, 10:03. That's very digital of that learner. So the very first exercise, I'm going to give you commonly used words. Now, as you're listening, when I hit your hot box, in other words, when I hit your style, you'll probably be nodding your head and say, oh, that's me. But when I hit the one that's weakest to you, you'll probably say, I never use those words. So let's begin. Get your pen and paper ready. We're on page 2. Under the word visual, the visual style, here's commonly used words they use. Remember, they all relate to the eye. Now, the other thing I'm going to recommend is that you print this off and you use it as a cheat sheet beside your phone. And when you're answering emails and someone's calling you, you are listening for these commonly used words. Our visual friends use these words. The word see, look, imagine, big picture, overview. I'll repeat those again. The words see, look, big picture, overview. Okay, our auditory friends, it's about the ears and the mouth. Here's their words. Sound, or sounds like. Hear, resonate. You know, the auditory people don't use the word feeling, but they use the word resonate. They might say, that resonates with me, which means that's how they're describing that it feels good for them. Now, already imagine having a client and the client saying, this resonates for me. And you're saying, well, does this feel okay? And they'll say, well, yeah, it resonates with me. And you can see the argument starting to erupt because your client is using the word resonate. You would use it as well. I'm going to repeat myself. This is a cheat sheet. This will cause you to break rapport with people if you don't follow their words, or it'll help you to stay in rapport. So let's recap. Auditory, we have the word sound, the word hear, the word resonate, and interesting, the word ideas. They love the word ideas. You see, the auditory person is like the best brainstormer in the world. Why? Because they get to talk and they love ideas. They're always coming up with new ideas. New idea here, new idea here, new idea. Matter of fact, they're always distracted because they have so many ideas. So visual, we're done. Auditory, kinesthetic. These are the touchy-feely people. Here's words they use. The word feel. Some of you are thinking, oh, I never used that word. Well, guess what? You're going to have to start. If your customer is using the word feel, your potential prospect or client is using the word feel, you want to stay in rapport with them, you use the word feel. The word comfortable. Even to say, is this comfortable for you? They'll say, oh, yes, this feels great. They like the word complete. They like to complete things. They like to know that are we complete with this before we move on? The word move on. See how that's about motion? The word touch. Let me touch on that point. That touches me. Now, in the 4 styles, I'm kinesthetic last. So these words are not part of my vocabulary unless I'm talking to an audience. Then I'll deliberately ask questions. So the 4th style is the digital. They're the thinkers. Here's their favorite words. The word think. The word thought. Make sense. They love that. Make sense. The word logical. The word order. Sequence. Remember I said digital was like 1101, 1102, 1103, 1104. So they like the word think, thoughts, make sense, logical, and order. They're the 4 words, the words from the 4 styles. I'm going to repeat myself. There's 4 styles. One of them is your dominant style. Now imagine in Vancouver when I was doing the seminar, if I kept saying to everybody just my visuals, I kept saying, does this look okay? Does everyone see what I mean? Is everyone getting the picture? But if you were visual last, you would say, well, I don't get no picture. He didn't show us any picture. And then I would break rapport with that person. So in a training environment, I want to use words for all groups, which brings us to commonly used expressions. Because remember, you're listening. You want to find out the style of your client. Now, one of the giveaways is their expressions usually borrow a word from the word list. So here's commonly used expressions that visual people use. They might say, what's the big picture? Remember the eyes. What's the big picture? Show me anything. Show me what you mean. Show me what you're talking about. Or I see what you mean. Or your website caught my eye. Your business card caught my eye. So these are expressions. And if you're visual, you probably have way more than those. Auditory people, remember, we're going to use borrowed words from the word list. They say things like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. Oh, that's clicking to me. You know, the word clicking, that's an auditory sound. Ah, that rings a bell. This is ringing a bell, auditory. Now, one of the dead giveaways, you have an auditory client or customer or prospect, is these words. Ah, oh, They like to hear themselves, and they like to use those words, the ahs and the ohs and They like to make sound a lot. Let's talk about our kinesthetic friends. I'm using my hands. Let's touch base. Nice connecting with you. Are you grasping this information? Are you getting a handle? Let's talk about the fourth group, the digital, the thinkers. Here's common expressions they use. I know. I know. Yeah, that makes sense. Are we staying on track? Just like a railway track. See how that's very digital? Are we on track with this? So there's common expressions to look out for and to listen for and to be aware of. See what I just did there? I used all three styles. Now the next ones are for people that, like me, that are trainers. I want to make sure that when I'm teaching a point, that when I'm asking the audience if they got it, that I'm not just talking from the visual style. So I'm going to give you commonly used questions for your one-on-one clients or when you're working in a group of people. Here's commonly used questions that will get an answer from your visual friends. Do you get the picture? How does this look to you? Do you see what I mean? Is this what you pictured? That's a great coaching. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I pictured. Can you see yourself doing this? Can you see yourself coming to the seminar? See, all of those questions have a visual word in them. Here's questions that our auditory friends respond to. Is this clicking? Does this sound like a good idea? Does this ring a bell? Does this resonate to you? Sound okay? Now imagine that I'm in a seminar and I want to get participation from the audience. I'm going to target these two audiences. Listen and watch here. Okay, does this look okay for everybody? Sound okay? See how I engage the two groups? Now let's talk about the next two groups, the kinesthetic group. Here's questions for them. Does this fit? Does this feel okay? Is this something that fits for you? Are you getting a handle on this? Does this feel complete? Okay, now I'm going to talk to all three groups in my seminar. Okay, I'm just checking here. Does this look okay for everybody? Sounding okay? Okay, everybody comfortable so far? I asked three questions, but the person's style, here's the main question, and now you're getting participation. Oh yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, this is perfect. It fits perfectly. The last group is the thinkers. They generally don't offer any information or questions until you ask them. So you would say, what are your thoughts on this? What are you thinking? Does this make sense? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I mean? And now they're nodding. They might even raise their hand. So one more time, I'm in an audience, I'm training. I did it in Vancouver. I would ask questions like this. Okay, is this making sense for everybody? Is it resonating? Good. Everybody getting the picture? Good. Everyone's comfortable so far? Okay, good stuff. And now I've engaged 100% of the audience. Okay. Let's go to the next page. Now, the next page is very important because earlier I told you I was going to help you detect somebody's style. How do you know what their style is? Well, you can tell by how they answer an email. Let's just say it's a prospect or an existing client or your spouse, and they send an email. How do they end them? Visual people usually end their emails like this. And if you're visual, you'll say, oh yeah, that's me. They end them like this. See you soon. It's just an expression. But somebody that isn't visual will email you back and say, when am I seeing you? So that means they're not visual. But if somebody says, see you soon, or looking forward to chatting with you again, or looking forward to your next email, remember, we're looking for I words. See you soon, looking forward. You can make a generalization that they respond well to visual words. Now, our auditory friends, how do they end an email? Remember, they like to listen, they like to chat. They probably say, chat soon, chat again soon, nice talking to you. I know it sounds pretty simple. Anything to do with the ears and the mouth is a dead giveaway. They're probably auditory. Remember, keep this cheat sheet near your phone. The kinesthetic people, stay in touch. Nice connecting with you. Say hello to the kids. XOXO, I love you. Let's catch up soon. And sometimes lots of personal love kind of messages. They're very kinesthetic. They come from the heart. Now, the digital friends. Most often, they don't end an email. But if they do, it's with one word. Can you guess what that one word is? It's only 3 letters long. Bye. That's it. Even if they bother to do that. Bye. Again, I want you to be observant and listen and watch for words that people, how they end their email conversations. Now, maybe you're with them in person. And maybe while you're in person, you just met them at a networking meeting or you met them through somebody. You want them to talk. You want them to talk so you can listen to their words. Here's my favorite question. So what caught, if I'm at a trade show exhibit, somebody comes up to my exhibit, I might say, so what caught your attention? And listen for their answer. And in their answer, they will say, they'll reveal their style they might say, well, I saw you over here and this looks like something I can see myself doing. Thinking, okay, they're visual. And then you give them feedback with their words. Or maybe you get an email from somebody and they didn't give you enough words. You might write back and say, so how can I help you? What caught your attention about my website? Or what did Bob tell you when he referred you that stimulated your email? Let them tell their story. And in their story, they will surface and reveal their common style. Now, this is super important because the next section is how to coach each style. They all need separate coaching. And if you break rapport with the coaching client, you can bet that they're not going to get results and they might not hire you. So it's important to know what the coaching client style is. Matter of fact, you're welcome to send them to the NLP assessment, and that might be part of your intake. I know when I have a coaching client, on the top right hand of the file, I put their style because they need coaching attention differently. And if you have already done your assessment, and you'll notice and hear how this might work and resonate for you. So visual people, that's me. I kind of know my direction that I'm going in. So when I'm coaching, my motto is be brief, be gone. Like, let's get it done. Start on time, end early, never go over time because time's important to us. But the best way to coach a visual person is to build a list because we love to check things off. Build a list of tasks for them to do and get them to report in on their list what they completed. See, visual people love to see the list. They love to check it off. Find out, okay, what did you complete since last time? They'll have a list and they'll say, here's what I completed last time. This and this and this and this and this. You can do your traditional coaching session and then before you leave, say, let's build a list of what you can do for next time. And they'll see it and they'll use that list. That is the most effective way to coach a visual student, a visual client. Now, the auditory person, they can be a challenge. Remember that I said they're the ideas people. So because they have ideas, guess what? They can get off track because they have a new idea here, a new idea here, that might be you. You might have so many new ideas, you don't get anything done. So here's 2 important points with the auditory client. in the beginning of the session, allow them to talk about their new ideas. It doesn't mean that's what the coaching session is going to be about, but they've come up with so many new ideas. And at first you might say, oh, this person is way off topic. Give them 5 minutes. Let them talk about their new ideas and then get them on task and say, okay, we're here to talk about what we're coaching on. Now, auditory people need a plan. So use the word plan. They like a plan. Why? Because they have this idea and this idea and this idea. And your coaching will help them form a plan. So I'm going to recap. Let your auditory person talk about all their new ideas. Then when they're done with that, work on their plan. That's what they love. Now, the kinesthetic client, the kinesthetic student, they take a little bit longer to coach. 2 important rules for them is don't give them too much homework or too many choices. They'll get into overwhelm. If you're going to take them for ice cream, don't take them to Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors. It'll overwhelm them. Take them to Dairy Queen, 1 flavor. So if you're coaching your kinesthetic client, limit how much things you're giving them. And in most cases, if you say, how can I support you with this? They will say, can we do it together? And probably in person. So the best support you can give your kinesthetic client, reduce the number of things you ask them to choose from, and do it with them. Even if you just got them started. Say, you know what, let's start this exercise. Maybe if they were doing the clarity through contrast, they will need help with that. They'll say, you know what, let's work on this together. They love the together. That's about the relationship. And our digital friends. How do you coach them best? Well, the digital friends are pretty smart and they kind of know what they want, but they need to help to sequence their tasks. Just like a wedding planner has to sequence, you don't get the flowers picked up 8 months out. You have to put it in sequence. So it's like project planning. That's how you can help your digital client the best, is help them sequence the events and things they need to be doing. It's like building a list. What do they need to do first, second, third, fourth? Remember, the digital person loves to sort things. They love numerical things. So get them to build a list and put it in sequence. So that was a quick training on the NLP styles. Remember to take your NLP assessment and you'll know your highest and weakest. Cut out this, put it by the telephone and use it as your cheat sheet. Now, you'll notice on the bottom of this worksheet that I have my 2 books. My latest book is called Your Life's Purpose. And in this book, I provide a list of 30 fulfillment needs. And the purpose of the book is to help you eliminate some of the needs. So at the end of the process, you'll have surfaced your top 4 needs. I'm just going to share a quick little video so you can learn more about this book, Your Life's Purpose. My hunch is you want to get started to uncover your top 4 needs. You can start that right now. A, go order the book on Amazon. B, download the 30 fulfillment needs list right now. There is the address to do so. And I will give you the first exercise. So remember, you're going to start off with 30 fulfillment needs and break it down into your top 4 or 5. Imagine knowing what fulfills you, and then you can make better decisions about what part of your business to enhance so you can be fulfilled more often. The second part, you will see my Law of Attraction book. If you've been following this series, I also have done a training lesson on Law of Attraction. So your homework, to recap, is to take the assessment and find out your top 4 needs. print off this worksheet and use it as a cheat sheet. Also, I'm going to encourage you to send me an email at michael@lawofattractionbook.com and tell me, what were the 3 things that you got out of today, or 4 things? What did you learn? What are you going to do differently? What inspired you? What do you see yourself doing in the future after today's training? A special thanks to Brad Sugars and Angie, who helped orchestrate this special training for you. I'm Michael Losier, sending you high vibrations. See you later, everybody.